Just a bit of news from your interview.
Yes.
Back from Hanover,
Another
Germany.
day in my life.
With us, another day in a singular life, Charlie. And we'll be doing another segment about that to come. But first here, there was an exasperated quality, I think, as you ticked off this list of issues, and not to be overly reductive here, but there's also a whack-a-mole quality about all the things. I mean, there are no easy solutions, or seemingly there are no obvious solutions to any of these problems that you discussed.
And on the table were all the problems that he faces, except some domestic issues. There was when he was in Riyadh with the GCC. Saudi Arabia was there, obviously, in the host. There was a sense of this relationship we have, the competition that they have with Iran, all the issues in terms of what to do about ISIL, who's going to contribute what. Then he moves to Britain, where, as I said to him, who has lunch with the Queen, dinner with the future king, plays golf with the Prime Minister,
and gets driven around by a Duke of Edinburgh.
That's right, and goes to celebrate Shakespeare's 400th birthday. Just another day in the life of an American tourist.
He's just trying to keep up with you, Charlie. Who are we kidding?
But there the issue was the European Union, and Britain may leave that. That's another big issue. He worries. He argued, got into a little bit of trouble.
Well, and he weighed in.
He did weigh in.
He took quite a stance. England would be at the back of the queue.
Exactly. If they came back. They left the European Union, and then came back and said, we'd like to have a great trade relationship. He basically said, at the end of the queue, because we're not going to be renegotiating stuff right now.
Did he discuss the reaction here and there to his comments?
He did. Actually, he did it within a BBC interview, because the guy kept saying, what does it mean to be at the end of the queue? And he would say something like, well, what does it mean to be at the end of the queue? And how can we have a special relationship if we're at the end of the queue?
And how long is that queue?
That's right.
How long are those offices open?
Yeah, right. But he made his point. He basically said Britain has more influence if he's in the EU than he does out of it. Believe me, he said.
In making the point that the threats, as he termed them, are low level with North Korea still, he did discuss a shield. They are now specifically targeting in defense of South Korea, but this was an interesting thing to publicly discuss.
He said two things about North Korea are interesting. The one question is the relationship with China, and China can play a big role. And I think he expects China to play a big role and hopes they will. Two, with respect to North Korea, they keep trying these tests. And as the point that he has made, and I reminded him, they're learning things. With every failure, they learn something. So how powerful is this threat? And then he went on to say, we're doing a lot of things to meet that eventuality, including we've got a shield now. The AP and other news agents have jumped all over that this morning.
The migrant crisis as well. I know something you discussed with him, and that he said to his great ally, Angela Merkel, that it's an American problem as much as it is there.
And he talked about the politics of it. I mean, obviously globalization and the migration is one big issue because it creates a kind of nationalism that he spoke against in a speech he made. Also, he talked about globalization and the fact that it has led in some places to job loss, and that's part of the reality of it, but you have to address those issues. I mean, he met, after he saw me, he went to see 4 heads of state. Which I thought was appropriate for a moment.
Having seen 5 heads of state in the day, then yes.
Yeah, but the subject was migration. The subject was ISIL. And his argument over there is a central argument, which is we got to work together on this. And I need you to be involved, engaged, part of what we're doing.
And I know he's got a special fondness for the German Chancellor. And as she continues to be elected, it's interesting, writ large against the political backdrop here, the campaign season underway. You actually discussed
the relationship between the two of them.
Yeah, and if he could seek election ad infinitum.
Yeah, indeed. Would he want to do it? I didn't ask that. That was asked by a reporter at a press conference the two of them had. But what he said was interesting. He said, no, I like this. I think the 2-term limit is a good idea, as the Founding Fathers created it and whatever else had happened since then. I think she's doing a good job. I'm glad she is continuing to be in power. But he said, I think we need a kind of fresh look and fresh eyes every 8 years.
Well, as our head of state, I'm in favor of a lifetime appointment, Charlie. Charlie Rose.
Thank you.
The one, the only.
Let me know.
You can see Charlie's full interview with the president tonight on his PBS program. Terrific stuff, to be sure. And